Hey there, and welcome into another exciting episode of A for Effort. I'm your host, Matt, and as always, we start off giving thanks to our unofficial sponsor of the podcast, AMC A-List. $19.95 a month gets you 3 movies a week at local AMC theaters in your area. Check AMC.com for theater listings and offer availability. Today's episode, we're going to break down the new comedy starring Rebel Wilson and Anne Hathaway, The Hustle. I hate to be that guy, but it doesn't work for me. At the time of recording, I just got out of it about an hour ago, and I just was underwhelmed. Rebel Wilson's other comedy this year, Isn't It Romantic, was actually loads funnier than this. You know, I expected a lot from Rebel Wilson and then Anne Hathaway, and I just was just very underwhelmed by the performances, by the comedy itself. Some of the wardrobe choices were just blah. I mean, I just didn't have fun with this one, and it's disappointing because I really expected to. I really thought this was going to be a great comedy. I had seen a couple of trailers, and I was like, okay, this has the potential, and it just fell flat. There was a couple of laugh out loud moments, but nothing too spectacular. The concept behind it is these two con women despise one another. They meet each other on a train, and then Anne Hathaway teaches her some new tricks, but only to get back at her for stealing a mark of hers. But then they go after this one mark together, and they end up basically competing to see who can get the mark. And it's just not what I expected, nor was it any good for that matter. I'm sadly disappointed because I expected a lot of both Anne Hathaway and Rebel Wilson. The other co-star in this movie is Alex Sharp. He plays Thomas the Mark. I really liked him. He was pretty funny, pretty straightforward. Big twist at the end involving him. Didn't see it coming. Caught me by surprise. That was probably the only moment I was like, wow. I found myself kind of bored. Just yeah, it's an hour and 35 minutes, but it felt like a long hour and 35 minutes, right? I mean, I've sat through Avengers Endgame 3 times. That's 9 hours of my life. I've sat through Avengers Endgame, and never once did I feel bored, or I was sitting in a 3-hour movie, and this felt like a 3-hour movie, and it was only an hour and 35 minutes total, including credits, and that just it just dragged on and on and on, and it just wasn't very good. And for that, it gets an A-. Like I said, there was nothing great about it. There was no good comedy moments that were stand out. There was no good directorial beats. There was no good cinematography beats. It was just a movie. There was nothing about it that says this movie was good. You know, usually I can find something in a movie that will be okay, well, it was good enough. It was all right. Whether it's the music or the acting or the cinematography or the directing or the photography, or the color palette or even the wardrobe, something, and just this movie just fell flat on all accounts. I just didn't have fun with it. I didn't enjoy myself watching it. Yeah, it just not a good one. A-. Like I said, not much more I can say about The Hustle. It's going to be in the running for the vote of the mid-year for sure. I have been your host, Matt. Check us out on all platforms: YouTube, Spotify, Apple, Google. Like, subscribe, share, comment. Let us know what you thought about The Hustle. I've got new things coming down the pipeline for the A for Effort channel. Come back to us next time on another episode of A for Effort. We will have another quality movie review.